cut-down version of Thenatan's Trax drum machine, Trax CM is a self-contained source of sampled drum and percussion sounds for trap, EDM, hip-hop and other electronic genres, presented in a mixer-style interface that facilitates filtering, distortion, pitch adjustment, reverb and more. In this video we'll take you on a tour of Trax CM's controls and show off some of its 20 awesome kits while we're doing it. Trax CM loads as a virtual instrument like any other, with 8 drum kit pieces mapped to a fixed set of notes and auditioned by clicking the buttons below their level faders. You get 2 kick drums, the first sustained and incorporating a bass or sub-element assigned to C2, the second short and punchy and mapped to C#2. Notes D2 and E2 trigger a pair of snare drum sounds, while D#2 in between fires either a clap or a side stick depending on the kit. The hi-hat lives on F#2, and 2 FX sounds, which can be anything from percussion and cymbals to vocals and impacts, reside on G#2 and A#2. Trax CM includes 20 of the full Trax's 50 kits, and switching between them is done via the instrument list menu at the top. There's no built-in preset management system, but you can save any changes into a VST or audio units patch file via your plugin host. The gain faders and pan pots in the mixer control the volume and stereo positioning of each kit piece. But both also have global equivalents at the bottom of the plugin. The adjacent pitch control pitch shifts the whole kit up and down, and is the only parameter that maintains its setting when a new kit is loaded. At the top right of the interface, the filter offers a choice of low pass and high pass types selected from the drop-down menu. Sweep the cutoff frequency with the filter knob to apply high or low frequency attenuation to the main output. And set the type back to none to turn the filter off. The reverb knob to the left of the filter determines the amount of global reverb effect applied. The reverb itself is short as befits drums and percussion, and proves useful for adding a general layer of ambience to the kit. Each of the 8 channels can be routed to any of 16 outputs into the host mixer via the menu above its trigger button. Select an output number for the sound you want to break out, then set that same output as the input to the channel in your DAW's mixer on which you want the sound to appear. Now you can adjust the level and pan position of that sound within your DAW, and apply plugin effects to it away from the rest of the kit. Helpfully, the filter and reverb only affect Trax CM's main output, so routing sounds like this is also the way to go when you want to take them out of those processing circuits. The amp low and amp high knobs overdrive the virtual preamp stage of the input, introducing analog style distortion. Turn amp low clockwise to apply saturation to the lower frequencies. It's a relatively subtle effect, but it can be good for adding a bit of weight. Amp high rotates anti-clockwise, dialing in rather more overt high frequency distortion, bringing much more in the way of crunch and harmonic energy. While all this distortion can result in quite a boost in volume level, a limiter is in place to keep any excessive overs in check. Trax CM features an LFO for animating the sounds of all 8 kit pieces together by targeting pitch, expression, that's volume, or pan, as selected from the destination menu. Choose one of 5 waveforms, set the speed of the LFO cycle with the rate knob, and raise the depth to apply the modulation. Alternatively, any one of 3 standard MIDI streams can be set to modulate the LFO. Select Mod Wheel, Aftertouch or Velocity from the source menu to hand control of the LFO depth over to that signal instead. With Velocity selected, for example, hitting your keys or drum pads harder results in more LFO modulation. Further modulation is on board in the form of an ADSR amp envelope, which shapes the volume profile of all 8 sounds. The 3 velocity options, meanwhile, weak, normal and strong, apply 3 different velocity mapping curves. Hear how the dynamics of this velocity variable beat change, particularly the hi-hats, with each of the 3 velocity settings. Trax CM incorporates 4 discrete sampled noise layers for adding dirt, grunge and attitude to your beats. Layer A is pink noise, Layer B is vinyl crackle, Layer C is a blend of wind and Foley sounds, and Layer D is the mechanical noise from an old tape recorder. Activate the button for each layer you want to hear. All 4 noise layers are triggered as a group with every incoming MIDI note, tracking velocity to control volume, but with the layer gain control setting a baseline volume level. The layer pan knob obviously pans the noise layers left or right. Although the noise layers are primarily intended to add crunch and character to Trax CM's drum sounds, you can also use them on their own as a continuously looping signal by sending the plugin any single sustained note not assigned to a drum sound. Thanks for watching this quick guide to Trax CM. If you find yourself smitten by its percussive charms, be sure to check out the full Trax, which adds 30 more kits, at thenatan.com.